Podcast, live from Pattaya, Thailand, with your host, Dave D. Join us weekdays. Check out all the latest updates on talkingheads-podcast.com.
And welcome to Pattaya, welcome to Thailand, and welcome to the studio again. And of course, it's ready for another live session in the studio today. Bobby the man himself, the pilot. My son Alan is over on the right-hand side. He's not with us today. He's on free fire. But the man who's in front of me, sitting right direction, is Nathan Butler. Welcome to the show, Nath.
Thank you very much, Dave.
It's nice to see you here.
Always good to see you.
I like the shirt, by the way.
It's one of my favourite bands.
I did say tone it down a bit. Look at it. Look at the state of that. Look at the state of that. Can you just move that a little bit for me? Thanks a lot. There we go. That's it. There we can. I like your voice, so we got to like hear you. You know. Later on today, hopefully, we're going to get a tune out of you. Yeah, is that all right?
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, you know, Bobby said to me, he said, I said, Nathan's coming in a little bit later on to the show. And Bobby said, what does he do? And I told him that you do the printing and everything. And also you like to play the guitar, a bit of blues and all that kind of stuff. You love to have a jam, correct?
Love jamming.
Good. He says, oh, great, we should get him on and do a song. I said, don't tell him till he comes through the door.
I'm very impressed, actually. I kind of didn't know what I was getting myself into when you said come along. And there's video cameras and studios and Bobby and your son and chickens and...
Don't forget the chicken.
Don't forget the chicken, but you've done a great job. I love it.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's very impressive.
It's posh. Do you think it's posh?
Professional.
Professional. I like that. We like that word, professional, don't we, Bob? We're okay. Of course, we have teething problems. You are, what are we now, Bob? What is it, show 6? 6, yeah. Show 6 now, we are, Nathan, so you're privileged. You are lucky number 6.
Very
okay. So we have teething problems like everybody, yeah?
Yeah.
We have, you know, with equipment and things like that and getting everything working right. But we've had great feedback, really, really good feedback, which is important.
Yeah, I love feedback on the guitar.
Trust you to take it in another direction. Right, let's get straight into it and talk about the printing first, because you're known in Pattaya for your how do you say your skill, okay, and your printing. Can you tell us exactly where you're from, what of course what the name of the company is?
Yeah, so it's called Global Print Professionals, and we do cotton screen printing and polyester dye sublimation printing. Locally here, we employ local people, and I'm very impressed with their work ethic.
Mm-hmm. And you say, so take me back, let's just rewind a little bit. What kind of printing is that you do, you say?
So with cotton, we do water-based ink screen printing.
So that's the old traditional T-shirt screen print over the top, but this is what water-based, no?
Yeah, water-based. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's very soft touching. It doesn't feel like rubber. And then upstairs...
I know that feeling.
Yeah. I thought we weren't going to get personal.
No, we're not. No. Put the rubber away, darling. Put the rubber away. And of course, one I like, of course, is the microfiber. I mean, can you tell us a little bit about that?
I love it.
How does that work out?
Dye sublimation. So basically, it's a liquid gas. We print it on the paper like a transfer, and then we put the white fabric down, the paper transfer on top, and a 240 degrees, 40-second heat press. And the ink jumps off the paper onto the polyester, and voila.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, this is actually sort of like, it's sort of like printed into the shirt, isn't it?
Amazing. It's not going anywhere.
I mean, theoretically, how long would that last on that shirt? That's a long time, no?
It was never going to wash out.
Wow.
No, never. No, it's amazing. It's the future of printing.
I know that you made some for Talking Heads, and you made some for Pattaya 1 for us, which are absolutely brilliant. I mean, and I gave them a few friends of mine and girls actually as well, and Bobby and those, and they all say they're so light on.
Yeah, that fabric.
The fabric is amazing.
Yeah, so there's many fabrics. That particular one, it's close to like silk almost. It's just so light, and for the hot weather, comfortable, stretchy. The print pops.
And it's dry. It dries mega fast, doesn't it?
Perfect.
That's what I found incredible. You know, 1 minute you're sweating and your shirt's dirty, and a few minutes later, it's like it's just dry again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some amazing stuff. What kind of any unusual requests from people to put on shirts? I mean, what's sort of like, you've looked at something and you've gone, really? You want to put that on a shirt? Have you had any of those moments?
No, but I've heard stories.
tell me a story. Tell me a story. I like the. We like
I roughly
stories.
know some story. He had some idea about something to do with a horse's phallus on a T-shirt, and he ordered a whole bunch of them. And of course, nobody bought them, but he and his wife are very excited about it.
yeah. Where we going tonight, love? The bedroom. There's 1,000 shirts in there. Great, let's do it. Never went anywhere, but of course, you basically make shirts for everybody, don't you? All aspects of people.
Totally.
I mean, I would imagine that the bar people in Pattaya. I mean, it must be great for them because it's fantastic. It's inexpensive, great advertising, and of course, the girls put them on and they got walking billboards.
Absolutely. The town's plastered in Sublimation T-shirts.
Plastered.
It is. It's plastered.
Pattya's been.
They're all wearing it. You know, it's so cost effective.
Yeah.
They regularly change their uniforms and their looks, and the tourists eat them up.
I mean, you take the old polo shirts. Remember? I mean, you've been here 12 years?
Yeah.
So remember the old days when we had the polo shirts all the time with the sewing on, and sometimes with a bit of printing. Look fantastic, but after, of course, you wash them and you wear them and you wash them and you wear them. Suddenly they start to fade away into the distance, yeah?
Yes.
True? With the Sublimation ones that we've had from you, we've had them now probably over a year plus. Yep. Still like the day we brought them.
Yeah.
Still like the day we brought them. I mean, you can't go wrong, can you?
That's brilliant. It's really the future.
And what about when you say the future, I mean, let me take this a little bit a step up to the future. Let's put it that way. We went to a show in China and we seen them doing they have the 3D printers.
Right.
We seen them do 3D on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Which have you seen that yet?
Well, I had a guy and he was into compression wear, and he liked that for that because it's sort of like therapy or whatever, and it holds your muscles in place. And they have different thicknesses of the silicone on the fabric to hold the muscle in place.
Wow.
So he was doing 3D printing for that reason.
Okay.
Not a visual, but more.
Yeah, we seen it. They were doing. For example, let's just say Butts, for example. Yeah, your name. Butts was onto the T-shirt, like printed on in
Rubber,
3D.
yeah.
Rubber, and it was sort of like embossed. Is that right?
Yeah.
So, do you see? Where do you see printing going? I mean, how far can it go? I mean, where can it go?
Well, that compression stuff's very, very futuristic because there's all different ones. There's ones for after you've exercised to manipulate your blood or manage your blood flow and restore your muscles. And then there's ones for when you're actually physically in the sport to hold your muscle in place. And the reason for the pain or whatever is when you run and stop, your muscle doesn't stop, and the gravity or whatever rips your muscle and tears it. So this compression stuff holds your muscle in place so you don't get injuries, and then afterwards it helps you heal. And I mean, that's super futuristic. The clothing actually enhances your abilities.
Where do you see the printing going besides that? I mean, now we're onto sublimation, we're onto these shirts. I mean, is there any further besides what you've just spoke about? Do you think there's any further that they can go on the printing side? I mean,
I think once we can sublimate easily on cotton, that's the next big move.
yeah, because it's only on
polyester
at the moment. Yeah. So why is the reason they can't do that?
It's not bonding to the molecules, but you can treat. Someone was saying they could treat the cotton, like put a spray on it, say they do with the UV. So you get UV protective fabrics that actually coated it in something. So then once they coat the cotton, then the ink will stick or hold.
But surely that wouldn't be as breathable as the microfiber ones.
No.
I mean, the microfiber ones are super light, super easy to wear, and they last ages, don't they?
Yeah, don't shrink.
So I was talking to you before we came on air, and I was saying to you, with what's the current situation, you must be really quiet at the moment. You went, no.
Absolutely not. This is our best month ever. We're just booming.
Yeah?
Booming. Like this morning, rushing around like a chook with my head cut off. Just
got a chicken in the studio.
Yeah. But a friend had a photo shoot and he needed his shirts done and
quick selfie of Nathan.
Exactly. The poor sewers. I'm sitting there. He said 11:30.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there just looking at the clock, helping them.
So you make it busy now, yeah?
Very. Yeah.
Good. Good. I mean, what do you put that down to though?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
So mainly what in Thailand, the business?
Well, this order was for Germany.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then from that, they're ordering another 2,000 pieces. The COVID has changed our business. Like there's a lot, we're making a lot of masks. You know, where it's mandatory to wear masks and people didn't have them. And no one wants to look like a doctor or a nurse with those generic things. So, you know, sublimate your favourite picture on a mask.
On a mask. I did see, the thing that I did see, which I found very, very interesting, of course, people are not allowed to travel too much on the commercial flights now, the international flights backwards and forwards. So I did see, like, the normal airlines that carry the people are now carrying parcels, which I thought was incredible. There's a picture of an airline, Eva Air or whatever it was, and all of the seats on the plane and the upper deck were just filled with boxes.
Wow.
Which I thought was, they got to make money.
Yes.
Great idea, great way to do it, but sad, but that's what they've turned to.
Yeah, they've got to make it.
They've got to adapt until it comes and it goes, isn't it? You know what I mean? I mean, where you're from at the moment, over in Aussie, yeah. I mean, it's we've been talking to an auntie of ours this morning. I mean, you know, literally, it's on lockdown.
Bizarre, absolutely surreal. Doesn't feel real,
but
it is.
It is. It will come and it will go. Let's talk a little bit about your past history in Pattaya. Now, you're known over the music scene, aren't you?
I've got a lot of good friends that play music. Yeah.
And what's your favourite kind of music? What you play?
Blues rock. I love Hendrix. Hendrix just takes it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that you used to be. What was the bar at the top of the Club? It was Leo's.
Yeah.
That's some good nights, though. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah.
Still go there?
Well, unfortunately, you know, things change and it closed.
Oh, it did close there?
Yeah, but if anyone's listening is interested, just jump on YouTube and type in Leo's Blues Bar Pattaya, and you'll see what was going on.
I had some good nights there. I came and seen you a few times, and I remember that there was a jamming night that you were doing for charity once, and that was really good. I mean, everybody was in the crowd, and you know, you've got a guy sitting here next to you having a laugh, and the next thing you know, he's just a mate and he's just talking. The next thing he's up there and he's just making the guitar, singing. You're thinking, wow, you know, I didn't know that. 2 seconds ago, you had a vodka in your hand. It's true, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get that. I mean, there's a lot of. I don't know if you've ever realised this. I mean, I have as well. That you don't realise somebody until they actually get up and do something, and it surprises you.
Yeah.
Until they do it, and you go, wow, you know, and it makes you stand back how people can do things and guitars and music. And I mean, I watched last night. I watched the behind the scenes with David Foster. You know, as you know, David Foster was behind a lot of, you know, Bublé, Whitney Houston, all these people. He was the man. He sold, I think, on the thing last night. I think, if I'm right, he's got 27 Grammys, yeah, Oscars and things like that. Plus, he sold 500 million records.
Wow.
500 million records. And just to give you an idea, I'm not boring you, am I?
No.
Because if I am, play the guitar or whistle. or whistle.
Whistle.
I just want to point one thing out. Michael Bublé, yeah, which you know, yeah. As the Prime Minister's daughter was getting married, yeah, the Prime Minister rang David Foster, says, you need to come to the wedding and listen to the wedding singer. He's really good. He's really, really good. Yeah? And he said, okay, I'll go and I'll come to the wedding. And he went to the wedding and Michael Bublé was singing. Yeah? And the Prime Minister said to him, what kind of stuff do you sing? At the beginning, he says, I sing all the, you know, all this kind of stuff, you know, the old music, the old swing stuff. He says, yeah, but Sinatra is the best. And he says, in all due respect, he's dead. I'm alive. Listen to this.
Oh, wow.
And it was just because of that wedding that set his career going.
Yeah, and he's amazing.
Amazing, but being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent. Everybody's talented. It doesn't matter who you are. We've all got something. It may not be music, but it's something. And if you just work at it like those guys do, that, you know, they don't just sit in the corner and watch TV. They practice their singing or they're playing and they get better and better and better and better.
He said the one thing I found really, really interesting about Foster was he went into the studios as a session player, blah, 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 yeah, playing guitar and playing keyboard and everything. But when in the actual studio where all the stars came in and played, David Foster was actually sitting facing the wall.
Right.
Yeah. So you got like all the Earth, Wind and Fire and all these people, and he's playing the piano, yeah, and everything, but he's facing the wall, so he can't see anybody. They're behind him. So he's got the headphones on. So he's playing in the studio, yeah, and they're all coming in with the drums and guitar and everything, yeah. Then suddenly the guitar disappears. Then the drums disappear. So he just carries on playing. And he thought, oh, well, they're just having a break and they're just talking about what they're going to do. So he just carries on playing. He says, it wasn't until later that I found out that they all put the instruments down, went outside, had a spliff, and then come back in and carried on playing again, which I thought was great. He said, but I didn't know what was happening because I was facing the wall.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what kind of stuff? I mean, what about session playing? Have you done any of that, or would you like to do some of that?
Sure, I'd be up for doing it. I've never done it. You know, I just play for fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what about, your favourite music is blues, yes?
Yeah, yeah.
I believe we had Matthew Kelly, and he was playing with, what was his name? T-Bone, was it? T-Bone Walker. T-Bone Walker. John Lee Hooker.
Wow. Huge influences.
Yeah, he played with those, and he was really, really cool.
T-Bone was the first crazy, like Hendrix guy. He's playing the guitar behind his head and doing the splits and stuff way back when. When are we talking? 1940s, 50s?
I don't know. I mean, Bobby would probably know more than me. But I mean, it's. I mean, what the blues music? What do you? Is that your sort of? If I put
it was weird. It was weird. I was getting guitar lessons, and then the teacher taught me the 12 bar, which is just dun, 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 and it was just like that was it. Just it. And you just sit there and it's so repetitive, and then you learn the scale and you mix the rhythm and the scale together. Where
you just said that just reminds me, you just said, oh, you learn the 12 bar and it's and that's it. You just clicked in your head and that was it. Foster's mum was cleaning the piano and he was 5. So she's cleaning the piano, she's going up and down with a duster and she pings the piano. And at 5, he says, do you realise you've just hit an E?
Wow.
So she rang his dad, who was at work, and his dad came home and blessed his son because it was like, wow.
He's got the ear.
He got the ear for it, and that's where it all started. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the first guitar you got? I mean, did you, where did you get that from? I mean, was it something you saved up for?
No, it was weird. In Australia, when you get to a certain age in high school, they give you like a going to school salary.
Going to school salary?
Yeah.
You never got that. I never got that.
Oz study, I think they call it. Anyway,
I do overtime.
Oz study back paid me. And so I got this lump sum and I was able to get this.
Hang on. So in Aussie, they paid you to go to school?
Yeah.
And then suddenly you got some back pay from the school?
Yeah, well, so it was supposed to start getting it on date X and they didn't pay me until date Y, and it was a big bulk payment. I went and bought this crazy white Flying V guitar.
I can't imagine that in my school, everybody putting their hands up for detention. For overtime.
Well, you don't get overtime, but you just get like
a grant,
social security thing.
So sick. Wow.
Yeah. Oz study.
So what was the first guitar? Okay, you got your back pay. You've run out. What did you buy?
It was this like Randy Rhoads. I don't know if you've ever heard of Randy Rhoads.
You're talking to somebody.
He's a huge people who know him.
Do you know him? You know Bobby. Bobby knows him.
Yeah. So anyway, Randy played this Flying V thing. I don't know, maybe he designed it. It's kind of like a very sharp looking guitar, not the traditional Flying V that's even. It's one smaller than the other. Very heavy metal. I loved metal back then. Yeah.
I remember seeing what I did find I don't know if any of you seen this, but on Porn Stars, the film where they take it and sell things. If I remember rightly, quote me if I'm wrong, Fender. Yeah, this lady came in with a double barreled Fender.
Right.
Yeah, it was 2-arm Fender and the guitar with 6 strings, as he said. And he did it as like a mock-up.
Right.
But it was made
like a prototype.
Like a prototype.
By Leo.
Yeah, and it was like, whoa, this guy, he couldn't believe what was sitting on the desk.
Priceless. How do you price it?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
So you've got your guitar, then what? What happened after that?
Then I didn't have a clue, but I was just having a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I used it on the back as a drum for a year.
I didn't know. Well, you don't have a tuner. It's not like now you can get a tuner on your phones. How do you tune it? So I had to ride my bicycle to my friend's house and tune it on his tuner and then come home. And, of course, you break the string and Yeah, it's all fun and games.
So what about the style of music? I mean, did you sort of like go into like sort of like saying to yourself, I want to play that straight away, or was it when you got the 12 bar? Is that right?
Yeah. So I was terrible, man. My guitar said, stop. He said, clap for me, and I'm like, I had zero timing, zero. Didn't know. I always think everything's so difficult, you know. But he just he sorted me out, got me sort of a track to. The timing. Actually, the lesson was learn how to clap. And so at the time, I joined a church group, and he was in. And I
it's a good place to start, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people over the years, and you speak to them, and they all came from like the church, the gospel, the backing, the singing in the choir, the singing in front of the people in the church. Which, to be honest with you, there's some fantastic musicians in there.
Gospel's got a lot of feel.
Yeah,
a lot of
absolutely.
Feel.
I love that.
So I my first guitar teacher and my first good playing was in the church band, and that lasted maybe 3 years. And then they said I was playing the devil's music when I was just playing the blues.
Oh, is that what they used to call it?
They kicked me out of the band.
What, because what, you're playing the blues?
Well, yeah. After the sermon or whatever, I'm sitting there practicing my scales because you get obsessed with this thing, and he's just like.
Well, and he come to you and said, "Suddenly you're playing the devil's music. Get out."
They did, and well, you know that's really cool because that's like Jerry Lee Lewis stuff. So that's what happened to him.
So
is that right on? Yeah,
right on, mate. Okay, you're playing the blues. The devil, get out there. So where did you go after you said you're playing the devil's music? What happened then? I mean, where do you go as a budding musician?
Busking.
Busking?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh, that's great.
Now, when you say busking, I mean you on the streets?
Yeah. And you know, we find a PowerPoint or you got a little...
You said we.
Different people.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's some other people that were doing it too in my town. And it's late at night and everyone's out drunk going from club to club. And then they would stop and just throw heaps of money. You let them play your guitar, and you know. And I'm just improvising. That's all I do. I love.
But isn't some of the best music in the world by improvising?
Well, I guess it all comes from that, doesn't it?
Is that right, Bobby? It's got to be, isn't it? Surely. I mean, you know, when people sit down in the studio, I'm not a musician, so I'm only going on my path with different kind of music. Surely, when a lot of musicians get in the same room and start jamming, there's a lot of good music come out of that. Surely.
That's where everything's coming from, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm guessing, yes.
Yeah, I've seen something Joe Satriani was saying. He gets in the studio and he makes an album, but then he has to learn what he improvised, and that's the hardest part.
I can get that.
To be able to play it again. Whereas I don't think I don't have the brain for it. I just want to play.
So they're improvising and it's being recorded, then they've got to listen back to the recording
and learn what
they've improvised.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah,
that's hard, isn't it?
Would be.
But don't you like things? I mean, we'll go back to the busking in a second. But I like, you know, like, for example, when people put out an album or a record or whatever, of course, it's a certain length, yeah? It's a certain song or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But when you see them live in concert, they always put the jamming piece in the middle. They also extend it, don't they? So, you know, you all you listen to is the 3, 4, 5 minute song.
Yeah.
But then you go to the concert and it turns into 10 minutes and it's brilliant. I like them versions a lot better. They've got a lot more feeling.
Yeah. It must be hard because I'm sure you hear stories where they wrote a song and it was 10 minutes long and then the business side comes in and chops it down to 3 minutes.
Well, that's where Queen stood their ground, didn't they? Was it, Bobby? 7 minutes? Was it 7 minutes? But Queen? Yes, Bohemian Rhapsody, yeah? About 7 minutes. So they stood their ground there saying, this is what we're going to do. This is it. Put it out or forget it. And I think it was one of the, if I'm right in saying, I think it was one of the first tracks that used the looping, keep layering it. Is that right, Bobby? Layering the track on the Queen one, Bohemian Rhapsody, and looping it and playing the same thing over and over again, but on top of each other to get that effect.
Wow.
The Galileo.
I just watched a documentary about that studio in Wales where they did that.
Okay.
Yeah. Brilliant studio.
But ahead of the time, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, ahead of the time.
wow, yeah, who does it? That's the weird thing. I think all those guys back in the 50s who did that, no one's ever beaten them. Like Elvis is King and the stuff that Chuck Berry did, and yet they're the first, and it's weird. And even the instruments.
Foster played for him.
Really?
For Chuck Berry, he was his pianist. He said it was a nightmare. He left.
Have you seen that thing with Keith Richards and Chuck Berry, Hail Rock and Roll?
No,
oh my!
Tell me, what happens?
Well, you play with Chuck and you're rehearsing. We're going to do this in E. Rehearse E. Comes time to play it live in front of thousands of people. Be sharp. And he doesn't even tell you. He just starts doing it.
Foster said exactly the same thing. He says they were doing this thing on the show. He says, and we went in there as a backing group, and then we knew everything that we were doing because we rehearsed everything. Chuck Berry comes in there and just does everything completely different. he said it was just like the boogie woogie. He just kept going along with him. Where's he going?
Yeah, true. Follow him.
He
never had bands.
No.
Maybe that's why no one would stick with him.
Nobody stick with
He'd
him.
go city to city and just get session musicians or whoever, and they were supposed to already know his songs, right?
Yeah, sure.
And then they do a gig, and off he goes to the next.
Well, that's what
town.
he said. He said he'd learnt all of his songs the way that he did it, and blah blah blah. So when he came on the stage,
Yeah.
which he did, I mean, they never rehearsed. He just turned up, and Chuck Berry walked
Yes.
on. I went, okay, let's go, bang bang, and he says. He started completely different. It's like, what are we doing here?
It's great.
It's great though, isn't
Yeah.
it? But I mean, what an artist. I mean, okay, let's take you back to the busking. We're going to have a little bit of a busking. Exactly, I think about 4 minutes. Yeah, is that what will take us down to about 5:30? We're going to have a busk from you around about 5:30, if that's okay. Sorry to put you on the spot.
That's all right.
Huh? 3:30. What did I say? 5:30. That's because today we're doing it at 3, aren't we? Normally we do it at 5, you see.
Okay.
We've done a special day for you. Do you realise?
Oh, you're so kind.
Me and my pilot over there have got out of bed especially for you, haven't we?
Oh.
No. Okay, going to the busking, that I know a few people on YouTube and that are very good in what they do, yeah, and known, but they still busk.
Really?
Because of the feeling
It's great.
from busking.
It's amazing. Wow. I've even forgotten I did it. But, yeah, you just get up there and you're on your own and you just start playing and people come and you don't know who's coming and you have nice conversations and they sing-alongs and maybe they'll play your guitar and it's really, really
But things like that, when you say that, I forgot I did it. Right, but you're sitting here saying it was fantastic. It was wow, what a life! It was brilliant.
Great.
But because of life and the road we take, yeah, and of course the pressures of life, you carry on, don't you? And you carry on, and sometimes you forget and you miss how good things were. You know what I mean? And when you say busking was fantastic and brilliant, I'm sure that it was, and I'm sure you got some great stories and some great times.
Yeah, Leo's was similar to that because he gave me the freedom just to play. It wasn't like a gig and you got to do Hotel California and this, the twist or whatever. We were just getting up there and just jamming. It was really, the freedom was amazing, and lots of really nice other musicians would gather there also and do their thing. And
Foster was actually the guy that broke Chicago up as well. He actually broke them up. Chicago, the band, it was
Right.
David Foster that broke them up.
Is the Yoko Ono of Chicago?
No, because they were... yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. I don't mean to offend you.
No, don't worry about it. It's okay.
I'm sure Yoko's not that bad.
No. She's well off. But he said when he went to Chicago, when he had the company Chicago, basically they went in there and said, right, he says, we're going to do this. And there wasn't any horns in it because Chicago played with all the horn sections.
Right.
But when their first sound came out, there was no horns in it. And everybody was all over the place and didn't want to do it. Yeah. But of course, they had massive hits with it. So he was the one that actually broke them up.
Oh.
So we're going to have do you want to get a guitar?
Yeah, sure.
Let's have a guitar. Everybody's calling me now. Look, everybody, great. Nathan's on the stage. Nathan's on. Right. We're on now. So let's, Paul Curtis. How you doing, Paul Curtis? Hello, how are you? Got Tony on there as well, and a couple of people. If you want to say hello, just send us a message, and we can do that. Nathan's going to have a bit of a jam. Get yourself ready, Nathan. There's no pressure.
Okay.
Just tell me if you can hear everything. If the volume is okay.
1, 2.
How's that? The guitar? It's okay.
Yeah, beautiful guitar Bobby's got here.
Is the sound levels okay for you?
For me, it's good.
Bobby, how look of you. So what are we going to play? Or you just gonna improvise?
It's a boogie. It's a boogie, and it's like this AC/DC song called the Bad Boy Boogie. But I do it to a boogie. So it's a boogie boogie.
Hang on, hang on. So we've got an AC/DC, boogie boogie, oogie boogie.
Oogie.
Sounds like ADC, but it's a boogie oogie boogie song.
Spell AC/DC.
Spell it.
ADCC.
240 volts, that'll do for me. All right, so we're going to have a bit of a jam.
Yeah.
With a boogie oogie oogie.
A little bit of a boogie.
You go along. You knock your socks off, mate. All right, here we go.
Talking Heads podcast live from Pattaya, Thailand with your host Dave D. Join us weekdays. Check out all the latest updates on talkingheads-podcast.com.
On the day I was born, yeah, the rain fell down. There was trouble brewing in my hometown. Was the seventh day, was the seventh son, and it scared the hell out of everyone. Come on, let's boogie. Lay it on down. Yeah, boogie woogie. Yeah, I love that sound. Well, they set up. Yeah, I sit down. They said Lowe's. I said found. They said scale. Yeah, I said no. I do the bad boy boogie wherever I go. Bad boy boogie. It ain't so bad. The bad boy boogie, best fun you ever had. I won't tell you no story. I wouldn't tell you no lie. You were born to live until the day you die. So just live it up. Yeah, you'll be free. Come along with Dave D and Bobby and the Talking Heads and do the bad boogie. It ain't so bad. Do the bad boy boogie. Best fun you ever had. Yeah, bad boy. Ain't so bad. Being a bad boy. More girls than you, those good boys have.
Even the chicken like that. Even the chicken like that. I was trying to find you a.
We got a great comment from Paul Curtis.
Huh?
We got a great comment from Paul Curtis.
Paul Curtis.
He's got more gravel than I have in my driveway.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you around the world. Just give it, thank you over there in the corner. That's on the right hand side, and of course we've got the crowd on the left hand side. There you go. You see, you've even got people clapping for you today.
Oh,
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was good. It's a good release. It's a real outlet. I think I needed that. Thank you.
Don't say that you never come on my show and get a release.
Oh, I come on your show every time I can.
So where would you like to? I mean, you said that there's something coming up soon. Did you?
Yeah, we've got a jam out on the dark side with Dave D, or with Dave Werewolf. He's going to run that. The bistro. Yeah.
The bistro, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like a jamming night.
Yeah. So people just come along.
Looking forward to it.
Very much so. Yeah, it's been a while. Been a few months because it all got stopped. But,
yeah,
the whole world got stopped.
But there's still. I mean, there was a meeting yesterday. They're still allowing places to open until 12. Of course, they've got to stick with the regulations. You know, blah blah blah. Not too close together. So yeah, I mean, there's things that are happening. I mean, I was speaking to a guy yesterday. Sort of John TM is now sort of like lightening up again. So hopefully things will get back to normal. Yes.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a boom. As soon as people can go anywhere, many people are going to come back here, for sure.
Do you want to play us out with a nice ginger dinner, like a nice easy, you know? Do you want to do something like that? Enjoyed it today?
Yeah, it's great.
Good. All right, okay. Nathan Butler, it's been a good one. We've enjoyed it down here. It's a quick one today, but of course, I think the man over there, he's jamming and doing his thing tonight. So I think they're all doing bits and bobs. But yeah, are you going to come in here and bring some guys in here next time as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a bit of fun.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is what we need.
Well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get everybody down here. What we're trying to get together is something that you might find very, very interesting. Actually, is on a Saturday we're going to do what Bobby mentioned is to come up with is to do Kidscast, which is hosted by kids.
Wow,
made for kids with kids' talent on. So they can come on, they can sing, they can play guitar, they can do sums, they can do adding up, they can do spelling, they can do whatever they want. The platform is theirs, the studio is theirs, and we want to do it on a Saturday. What do you think of that?
I think kids are amazing.
But do you think it's a good thing? Do you think
sure?
Yeah?
Have you seen that one where they get the kids and they play them like, Led Zeppelin song, and then they get the reaction?
Yes, actually, I have. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But we have to be the only thing, of course, with the playing tracks on podcasts like this. The powers that be switch it off.
Okay,
you can't play that. I still get copyright infringement from 5 years ago.
Really?
That's from my mum.
Wow.
But yeah, it's been good. I mean, we spoke to Andy yesterday about Patcha, and hopefully the live scene comes back into action soon.
This city is gonna boom. I'm sure people have been saving their pennies and waiting for the day they can come here and they're going to be on the first plane.
Yeah, I hope so. And I hope you're right.
For sure.
But I think that after what's happening, I think people do need that release and they need to get out there and do their thing, don't they?
Yeah, we're social animals. We need to interact. We need one another. This isolation is not healthy.
Well, I love you, mate, and it's very nice of you to come in today.
Also.
It's been a nice show. Yeah, thank you very much for coming in and having a few words with us today. Yep, it's been Bobby down there, the pilot, and of course Alan for joining in.
He's our director.
He's our director. Yes. Look at him. He's got his iPad saying, "You know what, guys? Carry on." Thanks, Nath. All right, we'll see you again sometime. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Talking Heads podcast live from Pattaya, Thailand, with your host Dave D. Join us weekdays. Check out all the latest updates on talkingheads-podcast.com.